Severe weather is always going to happen, and preparation is really the only way that we can fight back. One of the things you can do to develop a disaster recovery plan for your documents, this is something that can protect things like your birth certificate, social security cards, insurance policies, and wills. Now, Greg Parent is a litigation attorney at the Parent Law Firm here in Atlanta. He joins us this morning with more. Greg, thanks for coming in studio with us.
Thank you for having me.
We just had a conversation a moment ago, and you were mentioning you learned a lot of these lessons from Katrina and your family.
We did. A lot of my relatives were born and raised in New Orleans, and after Katrina hit, we learned lessons the hard way after losing some valuable items, things like photo albums, things that you only have one copy of ever, and then the loss of computers and other data like that. And since that time, with my family and other friends of ours, we've developed a system where we kind of take advantage of the technology that's there today, and we have some foresight and planning to avoid those problems.
So first thing up here, what are these #1 most important documents that we should really go out of our way to protect and make sure we have in case there is a disaster?
Well, it's funny you say that. The important documents are usually the legal documents, the deed to your home, social security cards, banking information. Things like that, however, can be replaced. The thing that I would probably consider more important would be the non-digital photos, the heirlooms and things that are in books or antiques passed down from generation to generation. Those are things that you may want to take the time to put in either Ziploc bags or some sort of plastic container so that they're always safe, or store them off-site at a bank or something like that.
Now, a lot of these documents, you can replace them, but say you go through a tornado, you're already in a hardship, you're already in a tough financial place. Almost all of these documents do cost something to replace also. In the case of a birth certificate, you might have to go to one state for one thing, a marriage license in another.
That's correct. One of the things that I would recommend for folks to do, and two things really, you can make copies of your documents and keep the originals in a safety deposit box. So they're off-site away from the home and in a solid bank vault. The other thing is to make a copy or scan a copy so that you have a digitized copy that you can print off when you need to go to the kids' school or whatever you need your birth certificate for, things of that nature. So you have sort of redundant measures in place, and that will help you, but keep the originals in a safe place.
All right, well, you mentioned the technology side of this, so I think safe deposit box because I'm kind of an old man at heart, but you mentioned these things with the iPad, the laptop, the external hard drive. We're going to talk about this coming up in the next hour here, ways that you can kind of move forward to some of these new alternatives.
Right.
All right, Greg Parent, thank you for joining us. Maria, back over to you.
All right, thank you, Eric. Time now to hit the